Yeah. Okay, now I'm visiting with Dale and Pat here about Buckshot, who's on my right while I sit on this chair. Yeah, you guys raised the colt he's 7 years old now, right?
Right.
Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, he was born and raised here. He was out of a Roy Rondo Palomino stud colt that a friend of ours has here in town. He's been cut now. He's no longer a stud. And he's out of
Mr. Sam Pepe
our
mare.
Mr. Sam Pepe mare that I've had for 18 years now. The first thing she threw was a Palomino filly, and a good friend of ours, he's long gone now, he's a world-renowned quarter horse judge, Jack Denton, told us, looked at that stud and he says, I wouldn't breed to that stud anymore. He says, you already bred to it once, see what you come out with. If it comes out looking like that Palomino filly, he said, get rid of it. He said, if it comes out looking like a nice horse, go ahead and keep him a stud for a little bit, maybe breed him once and then gild him and see what you got. We had another stud that we bred to, is a beautiful buckskin stud that's owned here in Wickenburg by some folks, and we got a Palomino stud out of him that's up and coming, pretty nice looking little stud too. This horse was sent to a friend of ours in Virginia. It was the worst winter on record back there. He didn't do good. The feed, not what he's accustomed to. The water's real brackish and tastes like sulfur, so he never did good over there. We ended up picking him up in a year and he just looked like crap when we picked him up. He had lost probably 300 pounds, maybe 400 pounds, and it's taken about almost a year to get him back to where he was, and I really didn't want to start messing with him until we got him back to where he was a horse again, and that's what we got. And we run into this wonderful man here, Mike Thomas, and now we're working with him.
But anyways, the story behind him going to Virginia was he was going to be out there to be trained. He went along with 3 mares. His mother, another couple of mares, 2 other mares, a paint, and this one from our friend Jack. And the deal was he was to be trained and used for breeding out in Virginia, and in turn he kept the first 3 babies, and then we were sent back the next 3 babies. We sent him out there in May. We went back out in August to see him, to visit him, to see how he was doing, and we understood that maybe he wouldn't be doing so great because he wasn't used to the feed, and it would take a little time to get used to it, and that was understandable. And we didn't, we were concerned a bit, and so we did something about getting some better feed for him while we were out there in August. Unfortunately, the trainer didn't like us interfering and said that we were changing his feeding schedule. We were trying to improve our horse's quality because we knew his quality of life at that point wasn't very good, and we were trying to do everything we could to make it better for him.
Yeah. Let's talk about how they couldn't halter him, they couldn't do a few things, and they had a halter on him and bore sores in his face.
Yeah, we went out and we said...
I went back in October with my farrier, because even to trim a horse back there was $125. I could fly my farrier back there cheaper and have him trim all my 3 mares and the stud colt, and plus he knew all them horses. Plus what I'd seen of their shoer out there, their farrier, I wasn't impressed. And so I flew Guillermo back there and he trimmed him, and I noticed they had a halter on him all the time, and I looked over there and you can see that little bump there by the side of his face now. They just wore a hole in his face and it ended up being proud flesh, and now he's got what looks like a wart there on the side of his face. The halter was too damn tight, and you don't need a halter. He's the easiest horse in the world to catch. Anybody can walk in a pen, he'll walk right up to you, you can put a halter on him. So I don't know what was going on back there.
But he went out in October, and unfortunately he came back and he didn't tell me the truth about the condition. So we decided to stick to our end of the agreement, and we decided if there was any mares that were bred that we would stick to our end of the agreement, leave the babies with him, just recover our horses and bring them home. So we made arrangements and went out there in September to pick him up. We landed on the property and Dale said to me, would you like to go see him? I said, no, I don't want to see him until they get on the trailer on Monday morning, and then we're going to go home.
Yeah.
And he was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah. And, and some of the things we saw here happen yesterday, when you get in tight to that left shoulder, he could either get a little pushy with his left shoulder, or he would or he could jump out through the opposite shoulder, but when he did, he had to move quick, and it's like he was expecting something to go wrong, and so he was just trying to protect himself from what he's learned in the past. But when he was back there, you guys have been around horses all your life. Your horses don't work that way.
Right. And
So,
you know, and it was a live and learn experience.
yeah.